Welcome to Health 2660. Here we don't just talk about health, we tell the stories that heal. Now please listen to the story. Sarah, a vibrant 45-year-old woman, known for her infectious smile and boundless energy, found herself slowly fading. The change wasn't sudden, but a gradual erosion of her vitality, leaving her bewildered and increasingly concerned. It began subtly, with a persistent fatigue that clung to her despite adequate sleep. Each morning, she'd awaken feeling as though she hadn't slept at all, her body heavy and her mind clouded. The initial dismissal of this as a temporary slump soon gave way to a nagging worry as the fatigue persisted, becoming a constant companion. Simple tasks that she once breezed through now felt like monumental efforts, leaving her depleted and irritable. A walk in the park, once a source of joy, became an exhausting chore. Her work, which she had always found stimulating, now felt overwhelming. Her concentration fractured, and her productivity plummeting. Then came the restless nights. Sleep, once a sanctuary, transformed into a battlefield of racing thoughts and anxious anticipation. She would toss and turn for hours, her mind a relentless whirlwind of worries, both real and imagined. Even when she finally drifted off, it was a shallow, fitful sleep, punctuated by frequent awakenings. Each time she roused, she felt more exhausted than before, the lack of restorative sleep compounding her daytime fatigue. The nights stretched on each one a torment, leaving her feeling increasingly desperate for respite. Over time, her mood began to darken. Sarah, once known for her calm and steady demeanor, found herself plagued by inexplicable anxiety. A sense of unease settled over her, a constant undercurrent of worry that colored her perception of the world. Small things, insignificant details that she would have previously dismissed, now triggered disproportionate reactions. She felt overwhelmed easily, her patience wearing thin, and her temper flaring at the slightest provocation. There were moments when she looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back, a woman consumed by anxiety and shrouded in a perpetual cloud of irritability. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, stubborn belly fat began to accumulate. Despite her consistent efforts to maintain a healthy lifestyle, her waistline expanded relentlessly. She adhered to a carefully planned diet filled with fresh fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. She exercised regularly, engaging in activities she enjoyed, such as swimming and yoga. Yet despite her dedication, the weight persisted stubbornly, clinging to her midsection. It felt as if her body was betraying her, defying her efforts to control it. This creeping sense of losing control extended beyond her physical well-being. Her relationships began to suffer. Her once close friendships became strained as her irritability and withdrawal created distance. Her interactions with her husband, Mark, became fraught with tension, their communication faltering under the weight of her unexplained mood swings. She felt increasingly isolated, trapped in a body and mind that seemed to be spiraling out of her control. Desperate for answers, Sarah sought medical help. She consulted with a series of doctors, each of whom subjected her to a battery of tests. Blood work scans and physical examinations all came back within normal ranges. Cholesterol, blood sugar, thyroid function, and hormone levels all were deemed healthy. The doctors, while sympathetic to her complaints, offered no concrete explanation for her symptoms. They suggested stress as a possible culprit, attributing her fatigue, mood swings, and insomnia to the pressures of modern life. When she described her symptoms, the persistent fatigue, the debilitating mood swings, the relentless insomnia, and the inexplicable weight gain, the doctors offered medications as a solution, Anti-anxiety pills to quell her anxiety, sleeping aids to induce sleep, and antidepressants to lift her mood. Quick fixes designed to mask the symptoms rather than address the underlying cause. But Sarah hesitated. She was wary of the potential side effects of these medications. She had seen friends and family members become dependent on them, their lives further complicated by the drugs designed to help them. Deep inside, she felt a strong intuition that these medications were not the answer. She didn't want to simply mask the symptoms. She wanted to understand what was causing them. She longed for a deeper understanding, a root cause that she could address and resolve. She refused to accept that her symptoms were simply a consequence of aging or stress. She believed that there was a hidden imbalance within her body, a disruption that was manifesting in these myriad ways. One sleepless night, fueled by frustration and desperation, Sarah wandered into her study. The room was filled with books, a testament to her lifelong love of learning. As she scanned the shelves, her eyes fell on a book she had purchased months ago, but never opened. It was a thick volume on holistic health, a topic that had always intrigued her, but one she had never fully explored. Tonight, for the first time, she picked it up. The weight of the book felt substantial in her hands, a tangible symbol of the knowledge it contained. She flipped through its pages, her eyes skimming over the various chapters. She had initially purchased it with the intention of learning more about alternative approaches to health and wellness, but its size and complexity had intimidated her. As she flipped through its pages, a chapter title caught her attention. Boldly printed across the top of the page were the words, "The Missing Gut Microbes," behind anxiety and insomnia. The words seemed to resonate within her, striking a chord deep within her subconscious. It was as if the book had been waiting for this moment, waiting for her to be ready to receive its message. The words seemed to speak directly to her, addressing the very issues that plagued her daily existence. She felt a surge of hope, a flicker of possibility that this book might hold the key to unlocking the mystery of her declining health. She settled into her reading chair, determined to delve into the contents of the chapter. She read how the gut isn't just about digestion. It plays a powerful role in mental health, influencing mood, anxiety, and cognitive function. The chapter explained the intricate connection between the gut and the brain, a bidirectional communication pathway known as the gut-brain axis. It described how the trillions of bacteria that reside in the gut, collectively known as the gut microbiome, exert a profound influence on this axis, impacting everything from neurotransmitter production to immune system regulation. Sarah learned that nearly 90% of the body's serotonin, the happiness hormone, is produced in the gut, not the brain. This revelation was astounding to her. She had always associated serotonin with the brain, assuming that mental health issues were primarily rooted in neurological imbalances. The idea that the gut could be such a significant player in mood regulation was a paradigm shift. She read about the complex process by which gut bacteria synthesize serotonin from tryptophan, an amino acid found in food. She learned how this serotonin then travels through the bloodstream to the brain, influencing mood, sleep, and appetite. Good gut bacteria don't just help break down food. They create vitamins, anti-inflammatory compounds, and even influence mood, sleep, and anxiety. The chapter elaborated on the diverse roles of beneficial gut bacteria, highlighting their importance in maintaining overall health. They aid in the digestion of complex carbohydrates, synthesize essential vitamins, like vitamin K and B vitamins, and produce short-chain fatty acids, which nourish the cells lining the colon. Moreover, these beneficial bacteria help to regulate the immune system, preventing the overgrowth of harmful pathogens and reducing inflammation throughout the body. They also play a crucial role in the production of neurotransmitters, influencing mood, sleep, and cognitive function. Her eyes widened as she read about a microbe she had never heard of before, Lactobacillus reuteri. The chapter described Lactobacillus reuteri as a keystone species within the gut microbiome, a microbe with a disproportionately large impact on overall health. The book explained how many modern people like her had unknowingly lost this vital microbe. It painted a picture of a modern lifestyle that was actively depleting the gut microbiome, stripping it of its diversity and resilience. It was as if the modern world was waging a silent war against the beneficial bacteria that resided within our bodies. Years of antibiotics for common infections. The chapter detailed the detrimental effects of antibiotics on the gut microbiome. While antibiotics are essential for treating bacterial infections, they indiscriminately kill both harmful and beneficial bacteria, disrupting the delicate balance of the gut ecosystem. Repeated courses of antibiotics, common in modern life, can lead to a significant depletion of beneficial bacteria, creating an opportunity for harmful pathogens to thrive. Processed food, filled with sugar, gluten, and chemicals. The chapter highlighted the role of processed foods in undermining gut health. Processed foods are often high in sugar-refined carbohydrates and unhealthy fats, which can fuel the growth of harmful bacteria and yeast in the gut. They also contain additives and preservatives that can further disrupt the gut microbiome. Daily stress and poor sleep. The chapter emphasized the impact of stress and sleep deprivation on gut health. Chronic stress can alter the composition of the gut microbiome, reducing the number of beneficial bacteria and increasing the number of harmful bacteria. Sleep deprivation can also disrupt the gut microbiome, leading to inflammation and immune dysfunction. All had slowly wiped out the delicate balance of her gut microbiome. The chapter described how these factors, working in concert, could lead to a condition known as dysbiosis, an imbalance in the gut microbiome characterized by a reduction in beneficial bacteria and an overgrowth of harmful bacteria. Without realizing it, she had lost a key part of what her body needed to function normally, and that loss may have been behind her anxiety, poor sleep, weight gain, and even her mood swings. This was a revelation that resonated deeply within her. She began to see her symptoms not as isolated problems, but as interconnected manifestations of a deeper imbalance within her body. Sarah felt a mix of emotions: relief, confusion, and hope. Relief that she might have finally found an explanation for her symptoms, confusion about the complex science of the gut microbiome, and hope that she might be able to restore her health by addressing this underlying imbalance. Could this missing microbe be the answer she had been searching for? This question hung in the air, fueling her determination to learn more. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, a feeling that she was finally on the right track. Determined to find out, she continued reading. The chapter introduced a protocol developed by Dr. Davis, a way to restore Lactobacillus reuteri at home through a special fermentation process. Dr. Davis was described as a pioneering researcher in the field of gut health, a visionary who had dedicated his career to understanding the role of the gut microbiome in overall health and well-being. It wasn't typical yogurt, This was different. The chapter emphasized that simply eating store-bought yogurt would not be sufficient to restore Lactobacillus reuteri levels. Most commercially available yogurts contain different strains of bacteria, not Lactobacillus reuteri. Dr. Davis had discovered that to properly cultivate reuteri, it required a special strain, Lactobacillus reuteri, DSM 17938. The chapter stressed the importance of using the correct strain of Lactobacillus reuteri. DSM 17938 is a specific strain that has been shown to have beneficial effects on oxytocin levels, inflammation, and overall gut health. A specific temperature, 99° or 37° body temperature. Maintaining the correct temperature is crucial for the growth of Lactobacillus reuteri. The chapter explained that this temperature mimics the natural environment of the gut, allowing the bacteria to thrive. A long fermentation time, 36 hours, far longer than regular yogurt. The extended fermentation time is necessary to allow the Lactobacillus reuteri to multiply and reach therapeutic levels. The chapter explained that shorter fermentation times would not produce a yogurt with sufficient concentrations of the beneficial bacteria and a prebiotic fiber called inulin to feed the microbes during fermentation. Inulin is a type of prebiotic fiber that serves as food for Lactobacillus reuteri. The chapter explained that inulin helps to promote the growth and activity of the bacteria during the fermentation process. Sarah felt a surge of excitement. This protocol seemed like a viable solution, a way to address the root cause of her symptoms without resorting to medication. She was eager to try it to see if she could restore her health by replenishing her gut microbiome. Once Sarah discovered the missing microbe that might be at the root of her struggles, she was determined to bring it back. But this wasn't something she could simply buy at a grocery store. Restoring Lactobacillus reuteri required a very specific process. First, Sarah ordered the probiotic online, a special strain called Lactobacillus reuteri, DSM 17938, known for its remarkable effects on mood, sleep, and gut health. Then she gathered everything she needed. A yogurt maker that allowed her to precisely control the temperature. Inulin powder, a type of prebiotic fiber that would serve as food for the bacteria. Half and half dairy, a mixture of whole milk and cream, rich in healthy fats that would help the microbes thrive. Clean, sterilized glass jars and utensils to prevent any contamination. She carefully followed the instructions, mixing, heating, waiting. She meticulously measured the ingredients, ensuring that she was using the correct proportions. She paid close attention to the temperature, monitoring it throughout the fermentation process. She was determined to get it right. Sarah followed the process carefully. She opened one capsule of the probiotic and gently mixed it with 1 tablespoon of inulin and a few tablespoons of half and half to create a smooth starter paste. She poured the remaining half and half into the paste, stirring thoroughly to distribute the bacteria evenly. The mixture was poured into the sterilized glass jars, then placed inside the yogurt maker. She set the machine to 99°, 37° body temperature, ideal for reuteri growth. Unlike regular yogurt that ferments for 6 to 8 hours, this batch required patience, 36 full hours, to allow the bacteria to multiply to therapeutic levels. After 36 hours, the yogurt was ready. Sarah cooled it in the refrigerator for several hours to stabilize the texture and flavor. The result was a rich, creamy, slightly tart yogurt, loaded with billions of live Lactobacillus reuteri. Every evening before bed, Sarah ate half a cup. She committed to the routine, unsure what to expect. She made a conscious effort to incorporate the yogurt into her daily routine, ensuring that she wouldn't forget. She treated it as a ritual, a symbol of her commitment to restoring her health. The first week, her digestion improved slightly. She noticed a reduction in bloating and gas, a sign that her gut microbiome was starting to respond to the Lactobacillus reuteri. She felt a sense of optimism, a feeling that she was on the right path. By the second week, she noticed she wasn't waking up as often during the night. Her sleep became more restful, more restorative. She felt less tired during the day, her energy levels gradually increasing. By week 4, something profound was happening. She was sleeping deeply, long, uninterrupted stretches of restful sleep. She would drift off easily and wake up feeling refreshed and energized. Her mind felt calmer, less cluttered. The constant background anxiety she had lived with for years started to fade. The incessant worrying that had plagued her thoughts began to dissipate. By the 6th week, Sarah felt like herself again, only better. Her mood stabilized. The small irritations that used to overwhelm her no longer bothered her. She was able to handle stress more effectively, her resilience increasing. She felt a sense of inner peace, a feeling of contentment that had been absent for years. Her belly fat began to shrink. Her metabolism seemed to be firing up, burning calories more efficiently. She noticed her clothes fitting more loosely, her waistline gradually returning to its former shape. Her digestion felt light and smooth. She experienced fewer digestive issues, her gut functioning more efficiently. She felt less bloated and gassy, her digestive system operating with greater ease. Food cravings, especially for sweets, faded away. She found herself less drawn to sugary treats, her appetite naturally shifting towards healthier options. She felt more in control of her eating habits, her cravings no longer dictating her choices. She noticed her skin looking healthier, her hair stronger, even her muscles firmer, despite not increasing her exercise. Her skin regained its youthful glow. Her hair became thicker and shinier, and her muscles felt more toned and defined. It was like watching her body slowly reset itself. It was as if her body was rewinding the clock, reversing the effects of years of stress, poor diet, and antibiotic use. But this wasn't a miracle drug. It was a restoration of something her body was designed to have all along. It was a return to a natural state of balance, a reawakening of her body's innate healing capabilities. Sarah realized something powerful. It wasn't that I needed more pills. I was missing a vital part of my microbiome, something modern life had quietly taken away. She recognized that her health issues were not a reflection of personal failings, but a consequence of the modern world's detrimental impact on the gut microbiome. By restoring her gut, she wasn't just fixing digestion. She was healing her mood, her sleep, her metabolism, her whole sense of well-being. She understood that the gut microbiome was not simply an isolated organ, but an integral part of her overall health, influencing every aspect of her being. Today, Sarah shares her story with anyone who feels trapped in the same struggle. She became an advocate for gut health, sharing her knowledge and experiences with others. She created a blog, a platform, where she could share her story and provide guidance to those seeking to improve their gut health. For years, she thought something was wrong with her, that she wasn't trying hard enough. She believed that her health issues were a result of her own inadequacies, a failure to maintain a healthy lifestyle. She blamed herself for her fatigue, mood swings, and weight gain. Now she knows the problem wasn't her effort. The problem was a silent imbalance inside her gut. She realized that she had been fighting an uphill battle, struggling against a hidden force that was undermining her health. And once that balance was restored, everything else began to heal. She discovered that her body had an incredible capacity for self-healing, a natural ability to restore itself to a state of balance once the underlying imbalance was addressed. Sometimes, healing isn't about doing more. It's about giving your body back what it was always meant to have. It's about restoring the natural balance within your body, providing it with the resources it needs to thrive. It's about recognizing that your body has an innate wisdom, a capacity for self-healing that can be unlocked by addressing the root causes of imbalance. Health 2660. Thanks you for listening. We'll see you in the next video, and until then, be kind to yourself.